Imagine you're standing on a stage. The lights are bright, the applause is deafening, and someone just handed you a trophy for your hard work. On the outside, you look like a success story. But on the inside, you're counting the seconds until someone realizes you don't belong there.
You feel like a thief who just walked out of a bank with a bag of gold you didn't earn. You tell yourself it was just a fluke. The interviewer was tired. The exam was too easy. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
This isn't just modesty. This is a psychological prison. Today, we're going to tear down the walls of imposter syndrome, why it hits the smartest people the hardest, and how you can finally start believing in your own success.
First discovered in 1978 by psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, the imposter phenomenon isn't a mental illness. It's a trick our brain plays on us. It's the inability to internalize success.
Think about that for a second. You can have a wall full of diplomas and a mailbox full of praise, but your brain refuses to download the data. Instead, it filters out the wins and magnifies the tiniest mistakes.
And here's the kicker. It affects nearly 70% of people. Even icons like Maya Angelou or Albert Einstein admitted to feeling like frauds. Einstein once described himself as an involuntary swindler because he felt his work didn't deserve as much attention as it got. There's a strange paradox here. Incompetent people often overestimate their abilities. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. But the more expert you become, the more you realize how much you don't know. Your high standards are actually what's making you feel like a failure.
Let's look at Alex. Alex is a perfectionist, one of the 5 main types of imposters. For Alex, a 99% score isn't a success. It's a 1% failure. He spends hours obsessing over a single email because perfect is the only way he feels safe from being exposed. Maybe you're more like the natural genius. You expect to master everything on the first try. If you struggle to learn a new skill, your brain tells you, see, you're not actually talented. A real expert wouldn't find this hard.
Then there's the soloist, the person who thinks asking for help is a sign of weakness, or the superhuman, who tries to be the perfect worker, perfect parent, and perfect friend all at once, just to prove they aren't a fraud. It's exhausting, isn't it?
Alex stays late every night, not because he has too much work, but because he's terrified that if he leaves at 5 p.m., his boss will realize he's lazy or unqualified. He is running a marathon on a treadmill that never stops. He's successful, yes, but he's also miserable.
So, how do we break the cycle? It starts with cognitive reframing. You have to stop viewing your feelings as facts. Just because you feel like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. Feelings are just weather patterns in your mind. They pass. Next, try the hype folder technique. In the digital world of the US and Europe, we are bombarded with criticism. Every time someone sends you a good job text or a positive LinkedIn comment, take a screenshot. Save it in a folder called evidence. When the imposter voice gets loud, show it the evidence. Force your brain to look at the data.
Finally, practice radical vulnerability. The biggest secret of imposter syndrome is that it dies in the light. When you tell a trusted colleague, honestly, I'm a bit nervous about this project, you'll be shocked at how often they say, oh, thank God, me too.
By talking about it, you realize that everyone is just faking it until they make it to some degree. You aren't a fraud in a room full of experts. You're an explorer in a room full of other explorers.
You didn't get to where you are today by accident. Luck might open a door, but you're the one who walked through it. You're the one who did the late nights, the boring research, and the difficult revisions.
Next time that voice tells you that you don't belong in the room, remember this. You weren't invited by mistake. You earned your seat at the table. Now, it's time to actually sit down and eat.
If this video resonated with you, share your experience in the comments. What type of imposter are you? Let's talk about it. And if you found value here, consider subscribing to our journey of understanding the human mind. Until next time, remember, you are more capable than your mind is letting you believe.